Welcome, Chad. Welcome back to another live stream session. Before we start, let me just make sure everything works fine. Oh, it seems like volume's okay. Give me a thumbs up if it's good, if you can hear me well. Right, cool. Right, so look like we've had some news drivers that gave us an early spike. Something to do with the war and stuff. Okay, so let's see. All right, so at this point in time, I was looking at this. It was actually this gap, this equal highs over here, and I thought you might want to go above that in New York open time and then see some sell-off. This red line here is just a daily close from Friday, so I'm bearish with any price action above that red line. Is obviously a good place for me to look for shorts. All right, so normally what I do on the 1 minute, I'll look for momentum trades to get started, and I guess the momentum already pushed out here, and there's nothing we can do there. There is momentum showing bearishness right now, and just to go to an hourly quickly here. Alright, so there's some equal highs there, but there's liquidity here. There was liquidity up here. We ran into it, take all this liquidity out. There's liquidity up here as well, but I don't know if we're going to get there. But we ran this liquidity here, and now it's for us to sit on our hands and wait and see if New York Open's going to give us something to trade. In the meantime, I mean, nothing to do right now, right? Some people might look at this at the 1 minute charts on a 1 hour. We ran liquidity. People might see this as some sort of a pullback to go higher. Might be right, but nothing to do right now until we obviously want to see some aggressive push and manipulation or shift away from structure. So these highs here, especially this line here, if we can see some sort of a push higher again, and then an aggressive push away from it, that and break of structure and all of that, that will give me something to look at this point. I guess we will have to wait. Just jump onto the daily while we wait. As you can see, that was Friday's candle. So Friday we gapped down, we ran up, we ran the high. So even if we close like this today, I would look to target this low, and that's the red line I was talking about. Anything above that, I'll look for shorts. But for now, let's just wait. We broke below this low here, and it all depends on if we're gonna sell off right through it to then sell us lower, or send price lower at least. Okay, so here's the open now. There's that bearish momentum I was talking about into these lows here. So we might see, I don't know, we need to see, these little equal lows there. Just popped into it. Smallish candles, nothing big, leaving nice fair value gaps for us. Probably this session here, nice up, nice move down. But this is not a setup I would have taken. Okay, so let's see. What you want to look for now is obviously price will do its thing, but it's obviously one of those things that you need to look for where price want to push us into the wrong direction, and then obviously manipulate people thinking that we're going in one direction and then turn around and go the opposite. Okay. Not much of a big move, so I normally look for that 10-point move. 491. This first 15 is normally something of importance, and that for first hour. Alright, so first 15 is where we're in now, so we want to see if this is going to leave this week behind and close above here. Then I'm expecting maybe a move up. Hourly, we're in hour now, half an hour in already. So yeah, if we close below this white candle, we might see price move lower here. Bit of a mixed bag here. I'm still pretty bearish, although we've got this big moves up. This could be the manipulation into all this liquidity down here. And if I talk about liquidity, I'm talking about these equal highs, this swing high, this swing high, this swing high, and even this over here. I mean, that gives us a proper trend line liquidity, and that's very normal for price to run through all of that. Okay. Okay, so the swing point here is of importance. if we close aggressively below that, that would be deemed as some sort of a break of structure. I would then look at this high here as like a protected high. If we just spike through it, I wouldn't do anything or read into a protected high break of structure. I need to see price close aggressively below it. So here we go. That's the 15-minute swing. There's a 5-minute. So let's see if we can read this price action. Right, so the swing point here is important. If you obviously run aggressively up there, close above that, that would become break of structure. This becomes our protected low. What do I mean by protected low? Protected low is a swing point. If we aggressively moved away from it, break of structure, that becomes a safety swing point, and we don't want to see price run that low or that swing point. If you do, and that's where you can put your stop. If you do, then obviously you're wrong and you don't want to be in that trade. I'm going to see if we can get some sort of a momentum trade here. I like to take momentum trades at the market open. It's a quick scalp, 10 points. There's nothing here for us to trade as a big setup. And that's why I'm going to wait for that this first 15, 30 minutes to complete. And or maybe we don't need to see a quick scalp. The aim of this quick scalp is to take 10 points off the table. But also not to preempt a trade. Whatever I mean by preempt is looking at this and think it's going to go up to there and try to take it. I mean, this could be the 50% level turnaround to sell off as well, which would normally be from this high down to this. See, we're right at that 50% right now. So we could quite easily see price drop down, but I would look at price to close below these swing points to target something down here. If that was the case. Nothing aggressively standing out here to take any short-term trades. So maybe it's worth just to be patient. Patience. See, now we're getting that selling momentum, which I'm going to try take 1,000 here. I guess one thing that you can learn from this trade is obviously we've run liquidity down here, consolidate, push up, come down. If we break, close above this high now, then I would most probably look at that higher price. I mean, okay, so that obviously is not the right momentum. Definitely to the upside here, or at least liquidity down here that was taken, and I want to see price. I want to see price close like that. Okay. Okay, so there's momentum behind us. I just want to mark out. Price should stay above that area there, and see if we could test it. But this is obviously protected swing down here, which I'll mark out with this. Like that. Okay, so now let's see. I mean, it could come 50% of this wick here. Could test this, which is right there. Let me just mark this out. Yeah, so as long as we don't see price aggressively coming close below this, then I think we could still see some upside. Next thing is we bounce off this. I would like to see a nice push up, close above this swing point. Then we could obviously look at the different protected low, if that's what it's going to be. Yeah, I don't think this trades. Looks like it wants to play out here. That's where it's important for us that first 15 minutes to sit in your hands. This is, one of those reasons to show that you have to wait for that first 15 minutes to 30 minutes to show you what the market wants to do and how it wants to operate. And then obviously you can take that and benefit from that. I mean, this price action came down to that 50% like we marked out, and it rejected all the way back above this level. So I'm expecting this to go higher, but then I needed to close above this swing point. So now we pretty much stuck there. I want to see price close above that in order for us to make this a protective low. Pretty much stuck in a sideways market here. But hey, let's see. Markets obviously got something going on earlier today, and I don't know how news is actually gonna, affect everything for. Okay, so refuses to close above that. That tells me that this could be in danger if we don't. If we come down back down here, it could go lower. And I think that just highlights the fact that it's obviously not good conditions to trade in today. It is Monday. I'm sure price action will do better this week or later in the week. This level is important to us, but as it stands, consolidating, we ran lower, we broke above here, which is good. We came back down, making this a protected low. That's why I've got this exclamation there. But now for me to move my protected lows to potentially even this low, I need this or some move close above this now. Okay, let's see if this swing point here, it's 1, 2, 3 candles, the lower in the middle, that creates a swing point, because high, low on both ends of it. Let's see if we can close above there, where I can obviously put a stop. Okay, so we're above that now. If we can close above that, I'll make this a protective low here. Okay, so this was the 50%. Come on, I need you to close above that. Okay, close like that, it will be perfect for us. Not below it, above, above, above. Alright, so we're above it. You can put your stop down there. And now what I'm going to do is, as we go, I'm going to try and trail this stop to show you guys how I do that. So see if we can get this pump up here. You might even see this pump into this. Try to go for 4,000 there. Okay, so this was a liquidity rate here. Break of structure. So we can get this in the middle. Okay, nice week of this black candle here, which is good. It is bouncing off that. Again, 50% of this week should hold price like we did down here. And that becomes, if we close above that now, this high here, I will move this into a protective low. And I'll move my stop down up to there. Come on, push. Oh, that's it. Exactly what I want to see. And that puts us at a $500 risk trade right now. That's another break of structure there. Right, so what we've done here, the reality is we could have done this trade better if we waited, because we ran liquidity here. We could have waited for market to go up, have the little rate here, break of structure up there, come back and test this 50%, enter there, put your stop there. The minute we move up, you would have been in profit over here. Nice profit up there. And now there's your fair value gap. Let's make this blue. Leave it like that. That's a fair value gap. See if it will hold price for us. Okay, this should hold price to go up higher. And let's have a look. Okay, let's see. Where is 50% here? So 50% right there. So we could see a spike and reverse to push higher up there. Look, like I said, if we close below this, this is how I manage my risk. If it goes stops us out, then it's perfect. It's not perfect, but it's okay, because this is a sensible place to put your stop after break of structure. That's a protected low. If it's no longer protected, then we might want to go lower. And as you can see, and that is how some people would sit back and think, what the hell, I'm going to get stopped out. Maybe people get frightened and just collapse the trade, and then we see trade reverse and go into your direction. So let's see if that's the case with us here. The fact that we closed below this fair value gap tells me we might want to push lower here, because that's now IFVG, and that's never a good sign for continuation up. This is definitely most probably gonna closes straight for us, and then this protected low is no longer protected. But let's see. Okay, so the market's pretty sideways at this point. As much as this looked like a trend to you guys, the market's pretty sideways if you really look at. Okay, so that's us out on that trade. If you look at this, it is pretty sideways on the 1 minute. All right, so let's have a look. Let's keep this going. That's now, yeah, so now what we need to do is keep an eye on it to see how, I mean, this could take you out and then run up to your target. I've seen it happen before. The problem is we broke structure here. We inverse, we took protected low out. We could, inverse it again. Yeah, so, I mean, I did reduce my risk a lot. So sometimes it stops you out. Sometimes it holds. Okay. I think the bottom line is if you took the original trade, which was a great value down here, it's on the bottom end of this liquidity rate. And yeah, you would have made some good money, and that would have translated into something like this. Even if you just took it up to there, that was more than 2 to 1. Never, we can look at that now and say, oh, it was 6 to 1, but this was the target. And that's 3.85 to 1, which is not a bad risk reward. We didn't take it, but okay, so now we inverse again. Normally this is a trade I would probably sit out on, but I am going to see if we can enter this again. Gosh. What just happened? Did the trade go through? Okay, so it did go through, alright. Okay, but now let's see. Okay, so now I need to see this, not that one. I need to see that break. For this low to hold. Like I said, not the best price action now because it's pretty sideways, and I don't know what that news was all about from earlier. So pretty decent reaction from this protected low. So maybe, I mean, there's a fair value gap there, but ultimately you want to see that bridge there. See how these wicks, spike through it, but the body is all above 50% of this IFVG. So that's a good sign. But that doesn't mean anything if we don't close above here. This higher. Alright, so geez, we literally just looks like we closed above it. I'm gonna put my stop here. Again, $500. And I'm gonna make this my protected swing. Because if you really look close, we literally just close above that. And now I would want to see price not take this low out. And if it does, then so be it. Then, I mean, at some point you stop trading. Because then it seems like you're going to be, or maybe I'm just on the wrong side today. Maybe it goes higher like it did, but my stop is just not on point. This is not random places where I put my stops. This is how I've always traded, and it's been working for me, keeping me in the game. So, and again, here we have a IFVG that gets inverted, and now again. So now I'm just wondering, price is not want to give us anything, so maybe it's just worth not taking a trade and just see how price actually just moves. Break of structure. Just leaving that there, so maybe this is now break of structure, yeah. Okay, that's good. So if we can get a pullback into that, then we might see price selling off here. That's a new break of structure of the liquidity. I'm going to make that a liquidity rate now because that's a high. We ran through it. Nice aggressive up, aggressive rejection. Now, this is how we're going to play this. Now, this is where people think, oh gosh, where do we jump in? We are missing out on this trade. Patience, 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 patience. This is the new fair value gap. And gonna sell. Oof, I just missed it. Sorry, I just missed that one. Okay, so right at that midpoint, that's where the sell was. And that was because we run liquidity here, rejection, we close break of structure there, create a fair value gap. That line there was at 50% of this range. That's where you would enter. I just missed it there. But I mean, we could take this trade to this low. Let's see if we can get to that. So that's about 516. Okay, so now our next point of interest is this low here. I want to see that swing point. I mean, it's giving us another entry here. I don't think I can take another one. No. Still a bit sideways here, if you look at the 15-minute even. But let's see if this holds. This high should be your new protected highs as well. So in actual fact, you can put your stop right there. And now you want to see if we can create a new swing point, take out this low, and create a new protected high. And because we're in this sideways move, I won't be surprised if, we're inverting this fair value gap here now, which is problematic again. So now we want to see a rejection close below it. But if we're going to close above it, we most probably going to go to that high again. These are just conditions you don't want to trade in, and it's best to stay out of it and wait for a clear setup where people gets manipulated in a direction. I'm just reading it from the 1 minute here. And listen, guys, there's no real money on this trade, because Mondays normally is not a trading day for me. We only got 2 news event read for the news events this week, which is on, I think, tomorrow and Thursday, I think. So yeah, so I'm not gonna be overly eager to take real money trades. But let's see how price moves and how we can manage risk here. I know there's a lot of drawings here. I'm just leaving that there for I don't know, educational purposes. Whoever's following through, following back up on these recordings, can see exactly what we did, and it's also for myself to keep track of all of these things. Okay, so now we inverted back. This white candle's body is respecting that 50% of that blue box, which is the fair value gap or the IFVG. So it would be good to see price stay below it and maybe outside of that blue block lower down. But hey, let's Okay, so while it's doing its thing, I'm just going to mute myself for a minute here. Right, so that's obviously, we still got that protected high here. Let's see if this is just going to give us all a heart attack and then go down. Or is it just going to run up there? Most probably going to just go up and close us out, just because of the nature of how we inverse this fair value gap, this blue block, to the upside, downside, upside. Just tells me we most probably just going to run up there. But then again, this is a good illustration as to why people should not try to trade every move, especially on a 1 minute. It's always best to break it down from a 1 hour, 15 minute, to see where's the momentum, where we're going, where's the structure, where's the liquidity. I mean, I'm surprised we've run the liquidity on the 1 hour, and would have expected some sort of a pullback, but maybe this is just bigger consolidation to push higher. Yeah, that's what I think. And just to show you, I mean, I can take that off. To push higher there, we've got this liquidity that was raided and rejected. And now it's consolidating to either go back up here or to sell into this area here. Either way, yeah, it's sometimes best to just wait. When you see these bigger moves, then you know the rest of the move either going to reverse strongly or it's just going to go sideways. So there we are, we're out of that trade. Obviously not going to take more because that's just not sending the right message, but it is what it is. Just going to mark this out so you know what it was. Fair value gap, or call it the IFVG because we inverted so many times. Alright, so now what we've got here, we're running a new liquidity pool up here aggressively, and this is now a swing point of interest. But even if we break aggressively below this now, it's only on a 1 minute. If you look at a 15 minute, you need to see price rejecting this high and then come and close below this low. That would give you the right structure to say, all right, so we push down, so where's that fair value gap for price to come back into? Then you can jump down to a 1 minute and plan out your entry there. But for now, I think this thing is just going to go sideways, and whoever's going to try to trade this, and to show you guys, there's a little triangle. I always explain this to people, just to take all of this off here, and it will make more sense. This triangle here is showing you price is contracting. I mean, people can see this as a bull flag or something, but price makes lower highs and higher lows, and that tells me that price want to break out somewhere. And at this point in time, it looks bullish, but I am, from the daily that we've gone through earlier, I'm still bearish, and this might just be one of those consolidations where we manipulate higher and then break structure down. Maybe this will all play out in the PM session, or maybe only tomorrow when news comes out. Who knows? All right, let's see. Right, so just go back to 1 minute. So obviously on 1 minute these things looks different. Price action is pretty small, especially with this way down. This was the equal lows that we targeted earlier. We've gone through that, consolidate, broke higher, manipulate, break structure, gives a nice entry to the long, to the upside in that 50% area there. Gave you a good 3-to-1 trade. And now we're just waiting and see if, where we're going to go to. And as you guys can see, we've taken a bunch of trades to show you in bad price action. This was the only trade that stood out as a good trade. Everything else was pretty crappy. We are going to get to our target, which is up here. But we got stopped out, how many times. So it's important to handpick the trades you want. And if price action doesn't give good momentum around, behind it, then it's not worth taking any trades. And it's easier said than done, guys. It's something you got to learn to look for, and it's not something you can just do it from day one. Hindsight, everything looks clear, but it's how do you see it in a live market. All right, so where do I think we're going to go here? I think we are going to maybe go all the way up here to the, I know we ran liquidity here. I don't know, maybe this, let's see. Okay, so let's see if we get a trade, a reversal from this. All right, so what am I marking out here? That's a fair value gap. These are equal highs. Let's call it that, equal highs. That's liquidity. All right, so what could we see here? We could see price bang up in here, do inverse fair value gap, and send it lower. And this black line here is alt liquidity, so nothing stops us from going back into it and tap it once more. And then where do we go from there? And then from there, we could maybe target this low. But yeah, let's see. Let's keep an eye on this. It's easier to say we're going to go to that lows. I don't know, looking at 15 minutes pretty bullish right now. So we got to see a big move down in order for us to look for shorts. All right, anybody taking trades? Let me know. Also, don't forget to like the channel, which is always good for us. Okay, so now we see that push up there. Nice big let's see if we can. Okay, so at this point, this is the low that initiate. That's a break of structure right there, taking that equal highs out. We didn't reject it there, come down. So let's just keep an eye and see what's happening. Okay, so for us to see this as some sort of reversal, I want to see a black candle drop out of the sky, yeah, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, so we might want to target this level, yeah, next. And it's literally that swing point there. Alright, so people will ask me, Neil, why don't you just take a long off that momentum there? If the condition was right, I probably would, but I wouldn't try to take it here to go up into that liquidity there. It might play out, but I've seen it so many times that it would go there and reverse, stop you out, like we've seen down here. I mean, the direction we had right today, but yeah, wasn't the greatest. I mean, this is deep premium if you want to buy. You got to wait for price to come back to a fair value gap like this one here at least. And that one is pretty much at 50%, which is down here. Gosh, this one, yeah, let me just show that to you. This one, yeah. That would be the right place to take a buy if you were confident that we're going to get there. I would rather wait for price to run that and then give me a setup to sell lower, in line with my higher time frame bias. Well, so this fair value gap is what's holding price down. Then obviously we've got this massive gap building up here. So if price go and close above this, then I probably expect us to go to these highs up here. And we still, guys, we're still in some consolidation, consolidated, ran lows, and now we could ran highs again and then come and sell off. That's possible, but we got to keep an eye on this fair value gap up here. I'm going to make this one orange so we know which one it is, and then we'll go back. Right, so this fair value gap, we're right in there right now. That's the one we've marked out earlier. This one here. This should be a protected low, but let's see if this is where we want to crash through. That will then maybe give us an opportunity for a short. Run equal highs up here, and then obviously refuse to take that high out. Now it's just a waiting game to see. Still a sideways market. Not the best markets to trade in. It's normally difficult, so we could run this swing point like we did all the others and then continue higher. So let's give it some time and actually just have a look. Alright, so we inverse this yellow block here, so we might most probably going to run this low here. Okay, so now we breached that. If we close like, below it like we do now, then I'm going to say this is a break of structure to the downside. But if you pin, I'm going to have to sit and wait a bit. But listen, guys, as much as these candles are looking great right now, if you put it in context to a bigger chart, it's just pretty small candles. This is nothing aggressive here up and down. So there's nothing here that tells me this is a plus type of setup. We did break structure here, so let's see how price is going to hold it. There's a fair value gap here. Even if you mark out the high to this low, you want to see price come all the way to this 50% back into this blue block if you're really going to want to see a sell-off here. And I'm saying sell-off very mildly here. I don't think this is a plus setup for us to take shorts and expect major lows to get taken out. Okay, so we're in that fair value gap there now. We're not in discount yet. Discount is above here. Or premium, sorry, not discount, premium. And I'm using this range. So you want to see this price to go a little bit higher there, because that's where smart money will sell. Smart money won't sell in the discount. So this could be a short-term push, pullback, push, bounce, and then come down. Okay, so I mean, this is probably going to be the trade that plays out nicely, but I mean that swing point there, that's liquidity, so we could see price come in, run that high, and then sell off. And if I say sell off, I'm looking at these swing points, this trend line here. Okay, so this is a nice swing point. Alright, so this actually changes, because if you go there now, this is where 50% would be okay. So leave that limit there and see if we can, I don't know, get this run down. Nothing big, an A plus here. Actually going to close this order. Because what I want to do, I want to see how price is reacting to that. This looks like a pullback type of thing for me. I mean, we just ran that swing now. I want to see this close below that swing point here for me to look for nice shorts. Let's see. Otherwise, I am not convinced. Let's see, rejecting here and then close below that. Otherwise, if we're not going to get it, it's just going to be another breaker structure to send price out there. Guys, one piece of advice. Never, if you mark out liquidity like this, never try to, look at momentum moving like this, nice big candles, think this is a cheap trade to jump in here to there. Never, never do that, because it will turn on you before it goes there. Alright, so that's a pretty decent reaction of that. But let's see if we can get something to break down lower here. Let's see. Be patient. Okay. Right, so that's what I'm saying. You got to put parameters in to to try to find the absolute right trades for you. Like this. This is now giving us some nice momentum. But let's see. I want to see it close below that. Okay. Happy with that. Now let's see if that momentum can pull through or follow through here. Okay, so this momentum came from there. Break of structure there and there. Let's try. Oh, let's see. Let's see how far we can take this down. All right, so obviously 11 o'clock is my cutoff for the AM session, and then I'll come back later for the PM session to see what price has done. Not convinced by this trade, but hey, we ran liquidity here, which is perfect. If I'd taken this trade here, it would be good to take a profit down here. I wasn't convinced. I was waiting for something to close below here. This would be the best place to probably take a trade. It's probably in here. But yeah, so now it's us sitting and watching our price moves here. Price is not moving like it should. As you can see, going to the little fair value gap, shoots over it. Let's see if it holds. This should close below there now. Should close below that. That's break of structure there. Don't want to bounce around. I want you to break close below. Then I'll use this as protected. Hi there. So I'll put it there as soon as I can see price wants to close below, but at this point it's jamming around in no man's land. Okay, let's see if this break is gonna pin or is it gonna close below it. Let's see how we're going to close this candle. Again, just working through it. So not standing out for me here. Right, one thing we know, this price action that we're seeing today is temporary, and we will obviously get on better price action later in the week, maybe even tomorrow. And we're back at that fair value gap. Alright, so now the question is, will we go and close below this swing point here, or are we gonna go and do something there? That's the range. Okay, so let's see how we close below this one. Gosh. Just not interested at all. Huh. Okay, so where are we? There's 15 minutes on the hourly left. Good to see how this hour finish. If we close lower, then we might push lower. Yeah? Right, new low. Okay, so that could be a target. Let's see if we can get a break of structure. Gosh, guys, this is insane. We just refuse to close below. Gosh. I cannot. So this is a protected high up here. Because we broke structure down there, consolidate, and now we just not. I wouldn't be surprised if we run up and take this high out again and then give us something. Okay, so 4 minutes left, then the macro, it's the time for the macro again. So let's see if it's actually something that wants to play out. Okay. Alright, so there we run the high on here. So now let's see if we can get a push down. Now the problem is this is the low that we're looking for. Close there, then we're most probably gonna come and stop me out. And then it's just one of those days where price is just not gonna be your friend. Like I said earlier, when you get these signs, nothing lines up properly, then it's best just to not take any trades. I want to show you guys, a nice trade after we're probably going to get stopped out here. Or we can go through it now. I mean, this was not an A+ setup, but we broke structure there. Black candles, came back up here. If we've taken that trade, short was going to be there. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, there's a 2-1 right there. It would have been ugly, but if you just follow the basic rules, manipulation, that equal highs there, break of structure, do the pullback into a premium zone, and then a sell-off targeting 2-1. Then you would have got. And sometimes it's as simple as just keep it that simple and not to overcomplicate it. Okay, so now we ran this high aggressively and we closed below it. So let's see if we can get an aggressive drop here in 1 minute. Then the macro starts running, and if we want to run any liquidity, that would be the nice time. Macro is normally 10 minutes before the hour and 10 minutes after the hour. Come on, show us the drop. Show us the drop. So yes, a nice push down, like we said. Right on time. Ran liquidity up here, and now it's just a big push as expected. Now let's see if this push can actually push through close below that swing point. We got so close, it's been stopped out here, but see how the protected high was holding? I mean, it could still turn around and stop us out. I'm just saying there was a high that we thought we might see this and then come down. But yeah, we still haven't broken this low, so we're still not out of the woods. Oh. Okay, so now we're in a nice fair value gap here. So maybe this will hold price and send it lower, but don't know. Gotta wait and see. Nope. See, now we're inverting on the other side, refusing to take this swing low. That tells me, guys, this is just going to go sideways and not give us anything good, which is fine. I guess lesson learned, and making your notes. Try to learn to read the market to see what it does. Does it give you clear setups, clear price action, clear pushes? If it doesn't, then it might not be the ideal time to actually trade anything. Now, someone would say, Neil, why don't you use this low here to break through? This is the low that we used. I mean, that's a breaker structure if we close below it, but you want to close below this low. Not because it makes higher lows in between. This is the important one. This is the lowest low from the push from, down after the previous breaker structure. Come on. Okay, let's see. All right, so how could you navigate this and to prevent this? All right, so today we saw this big push up. And that tells me, how does price work? Price expand, pull back, consolidate, manipulate, expand. All right, so you don't want to trade in consolidation. So it's pretty normal to get stuck in a consolidation here. And then unfortunately, I don't know, we selling at the top of the consolidation, hoping to catch the bottom side. But that's not how you want to trade. So now it's just a matter of, sit and watch. There's momentum building up to the downside here. But I want to see if I can catch to bring my stop down. And at this point I can't. Whenever you see a session or a day where price is moving aggressively in one direction, it's best the next day to maybe sit on the side and just practice price and read it, mark it out, and learn from it. Unless you see a very, very clear setup. And not look for a setup that's possibly not there. I mean, what we've been doing this whole morning is looking for setups. And we did say that it's not ideal, but I mean, got to work through it, right? So our price gets stuck in that fair value gap there. I mean, this is just not, this is really not something that you want to trade. All right, so this is where my trading stop. Normally when I look at trading like this and I'm in a position and it's not working out for me, I'll wait even if I'm green, I'll just collapse the trade, take a little bit of profit and walk away, and then come back later and trade something else. So I might leave this trade on to see if I'm going to get stopped out, and I'll come back later. But I'm not, there's no point streaming this further. All right. Thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll catch you guys on the PM session and in the rest of the week. Hope you guys have a good day further. Don't overtrade and be careful. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.